Now we know in the Naruto storyline on the day of Naruto's birth, Konoha went through its greatest disaster, and that was the Nine Tails attack. On that day, not only did they lose their Hokage, but they also lost their Jinchuriki as well. And from this factor, the entire storyline was dictated by this one fact. And from there, from Naruto all the way to the Boruto series, the entire storyline went from this one situation. But what if that didn't happen? What if the Nine Tails attack didn't occur at all? Or, most prominently, what if the Nine Tails attack failed? How would this affect the storyline moving forward as a whole? Hey guys, I'm Dr. Kawi here and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm going to be doing a new what if, and that is, what if the Nine Tails attack failed? Part 1. I hope you guys enjoy, and actually, if you guys can, please, I'm looking for 50 likes, guys. 50 likes and I'll make another video right away, okay guys? So yeah, hit that like button, okay guys? Cool. But yeah, without further ado guys, let's get into this new story and let's begin. So guys, where our story is going to actually take place is right on the day of Naruto's birth, okay? We're going to follow the canon storyline of Obito taking out the guards where Kushina was giving birth to Naruto. And from this time, Kushina pushed Naruto out while Minato was holding the seal. And Naruto was born and Minato's holding his arm, well, they're holding him in his arms. Around this time, in canon, Obito manages to get Naruto and hold a kunai to Naruto's throat. Minato made the decision to save Naruto and teleport away, and not only that, dislodge the paper bombs that Obito put on him to keep Minato distracted long enough for him to bind the Nine Tails and pull him out of Kushina. And doing so allowed it easy for him to summon the entire Nine Tails like in canon, and it led to the Nine Tails attack, which the storyline is based upon. But that's in that regard. But what if Minato reacted, okay? Now, how I might also justify this notion is, in the main storyline, Minato was able to take on 1,000 ninja, or at least stop 1,000 Earth Shinobi in the Third Great Ninja War, and that's in the blink of an eye apparently. So if Minato could do that there, then he'll be able to do, justify my ends of my story, okay guys? So now that you guys understand where the storyline is going to start, let's begin. Now as Obito holds the knife to Naruto's throat, or baby Naruto in a way, Minato's standing there thinking, this guy may go after Kushina and it's not good, and he came out of nowhere. But he's got Naruto as well. So Minato still rushes to grab Naruto, but as he grabs Naruto, Minato instantly, as he teleports, he does a shadow clone as he teleports away. And doing so, Minato leaves that shadow clone with Kushina and Obito in the room while he teleports with Naruto. He a little bit slower than canon, but he still manages to save him and Naruto from the bomb that's on the wrapping cloth. And so that still happens a little bit slower, but Minato still survives. Now the clone Minato instantly rushes Obito. Obito manages to get a hand on Kushina and pull the Nine Tails out until the Nine Tails chakra envelops Kushina, and he almost managed to place the Nine Tails under his control fully, you know. He almost able to fully gain control of the Nine Tails. But Minato appeared, he punched right through Obito. Obito began to try to fight off Minato, not realizing that Minato actually made a clone, which blew his mind. And so Minato himself derived that this guy is either moving so fast or he's just fighting the clone. And as Minato tries to deduce, and because he's like the fastest man on the planet, like come on, Minato is just trying to do everything he can. Kushina herself is raging out. The Nine Tails chakra is emanating, exploding. What happens is Obito manages to get past Minato and he manages to get the Nine Tails under his control. And as Obito tries to get away, Minato manages to touch Obito, because that's the only time Obito can be grabbed or tangible, is when he teleports. Minato manages to touch him and remove the contract instantly. But only that, Minato managed to put a rising seal. But Minato allowed this one situation, opening for Obito to kick Minato in the face, cradling him into the wall. Obito forced it down. He's like, damn it! He teleports away. But the Nine Tails is exploding out of the Kushina. She's screaming in absolute pain. She's going through all the tail transformations like Naruto would have, but because she just finished giving birth to the Naruto, she's really drained and tired at this present time. And the Nine Tails is losing control now, because Minato not only removed Obito's control of the Nine Tails, he's gone wild and he now sees opportunity to break out. And so as this is going down, Minato tries his best to seal the Nine Tails, tries his best anyway, and what happens is the real Minato appears. And when he appears there, he makes sure that young Naruto is put in a safe place where not even Obito could find. And when the real Minato gets there, he sees Kushina and he's trying his best to hold the Nine Tails in. What happens is Minato himself, the real Minato, as he's focusing, he feels something, and as he looks back, what ends up happening is this massive barrage of these gigantic kind of like chakra rods, these big as chakra shurikens fly out of nowhere. And as Minato is watching this, he's trying his best to stop it, teleport them away. And as Kushina rips the Nine Tails tail, breaks the entire room, Minato instantly teleports away, the clone gets taken out, Obito becomes intangible, and the entire area blows up, and Kushina and herself is going through the Nine Tails transformations like how Naruto would. Exactly how Naruto would. Where she's gone, right now she's on the fourth tails, raging out, breaking the entire area. Obito smiles because in the part he actually kind of succeeding because Kushina is actually going wild. And he can see that she's at her weakest. He completely forgot though that Minato has a flying Raiji mark on him. And as Obito turns around, Minato instantly appears, has a Rasengan in his hand. And Minato throws a flying kunai, Raijin kunai through his head. And as he does so, Obito goes right through him. Obito tries to catch Minato, but he teleports behind it. This time though, Obito manages to react and he turns around to try to kick Minato, but because Minato has a flying Raiji mark on Obito, it was pointless. Minato teleported right again below Obito and slammed his fist, or his Rasengan, right into Obito's gut. So hard in fact that he put more power into this and instantly shoots Obito in dead air, pretty much destroys his body in a sense, nearly, almost does. When Obito finally wakes up at the crater, he's bleeding, he needs to get out of there. He can't stay there, and if he does, he's dead, or he's found. And so Obito uses the last of his strength to teleport away, straight back to where Zetsu was. When Zetsu approaches Obito, he goes, so did you succeed? And Obito can't even say nothing, he instantly closes his eyes. When Zetsu sees this, he immediately gets one of the Zetsus to bond with Obito and begin to heal him. So he's pretty much in a catatonic state right now, or kind of comatose state. Back in Konoha though, Minato has dealt with Obito, and Minato did see the Sharingan and this person's ability, so it's still for Minato's mind deduced that was Madara Uchiha, a really powerful shinobi. And so when Minato was done with that, he instantly turns around and sees Kushina running wild, and she's shooting Biju Bomb. Bear in mind she's at her weakest point at this present time. Minato appears immediately and places a seal around Kushina's head. What happens is, thanks to the Nine Tails being drastically pulled out, but Obito was already fully out and burns the seal immediately and pushes Minato away. But this is when Minato realizes that Kushina could help. Minato immediately teleports away, jumps on Kushina's back, teleports them both out of the village. Immediately, everyone else was preparing for what was happening, and when they saw Kushina go rampage, what ended up happening is Kushina, even though she was going through a four-tailed state, she didn't cause that much damage. It gave enough people her power itself, allowing people enough for them to get out of the house and get prepared. And Konoha itself moved rapidly as well, much more better because it wasn't the full Nine Tails, it was just four tails of Kushina at the time. But because Minato teleported a more powerful Kushina, or Nine Tails version of her, out of the village, what ends up happening, Minato placed it down and placed sealing tags everywhere to bind her as best he can, hold her in place. Bear in mind, Minato is not as tired as he would be, because in the canon he summoned a Gamabunta to hold the full Nine Tails down, and he teleported a full Biju Bomb. So Minato has some strength to do this, and as he's holding more like a Six Tails Kushina in her rampage mode, Minato tries to kidnap Kushina, and in doing so, Kushina within her mind manages to break the Nine Tails partial of the Nine Tails control of her, pretty much how Naruto does when he's doing the chakra tug of war with Nine Tails, and half of his body was in the Four Tails chakra state, and the other one was just partial Nine Tails state. So from that regard, that's what happens to Kushina in this situation. In doing so, the Nine Tails chains, Kushina's chains immediately pops out, stabs into the ground, and it makes a barrier between them, but it also pulls at the Nine Tails chakra within her. And as Kushina doing the Nine Tails chakra tug of war with the Nine Tails, Kushina tells Minato that she may need her help. And in doing so, as they begin to seal it, the Nine Tails chakra is starting to go more erratic and burn out, explode more and more and more. And so as Kushina tries, Minato comes up with the idea of splitting the Nine Tails because he believes that they can't get the full Nine Tails back into Kushina, that they should use their combined abilities to split the Nine Tails into two, half in her and the other half in Naruto. Kushina goes, "Are you mad? What about our son? You don't want him to go to this nation?" And Kushina goes, "And is it even possible?" Minato goes, "I don't know. We could either use the Reaper Death Cell or you can help me with the remaining chakra you have." And Kushina's fine with it, you know. She uses the chakra and the power that she has. Both of them do a powerful seal. Minato summons Naruto, and bear in mind, Kushina is in the tug of war with the Nine Tails. And what happens is Minato begins to do a seal, and in doing so, he grabs the other half of the Nine Tails chakra with his own chakra, and both him and Kushina complete the seal together. And they both split the Nine Tails into two. One half goes to Kushina, and the other half goes to Naruto. In doing so, the 8 tetragram seal is bonded on both Kushina and Naruto's body. Kushina and Minato fall back immediately, the chakra chains disappear, young baby Naruto begins to cry, and from there, the storyline is set into motion. Now from here, the next few days go in a pretty bad way. Danzo tries to stir with the village elders against Minato's incompetence and the fact that the Nine Tails almost went rampage and destroyed the village. And Danzo did not want to hear about this Madara theory. He knows because from his own confidence that because he knew the first and the second Hokage that Madara was dead. But Minato was adamant that the Uchiha had nothing to do with this attack. It was Madara Uchiha himself. And from there, not only that, Fugaku can see Minato in a sense protesting against Danzo's idea that the Uchiha has something involved. Minato said, yes, this person had the Sharingan, but doesn't mean he was an Uchiha, is it? And if he was an Uchiha, he was a real powerful one. Someone that in this period is unheard of. But there was a Uchiha that was that powerful. Madara Uchiha. And everyone understands if Minato was to talk about this ninja being that powerful, then they understand that this is real. And from there, all the village heads all come to the agreement that the Uchiha had nothing to do with this. The only person that pretty much has that stigma against them are the village elders and Danzo. But the Uchiha are vindicated and they're allowed to keep their jobs, and not only that, they're allowed to stay within the village and resume their Black Ops roles as normal under the Hokage Minato. So the Uchiha are fine within the village, deeply within the village. Now with Minato being alive, this also sets in motion a big deal. Naruto has half the Nine Tails just like he does in canon, and Kushina has the other half. And with having the other half, Kushina is able to easily use her own power to dominate or pretty much beat the Nine Tails if it goes out of whack, you know. And so Kushina and Minato are fully alive, big positive. And the Uchiha still live within the village, and due to that one factor, the coup d'etat does not happen, because the Uchiha were, in the canon storyline, were locked in one area. The village kind of hated them because they were the police next to the prison, so they were pretty much had that stigma. They lost the majority of their Black Ops role in regards to the entire village, and their village presence was really, really low. But because of the fact that Minato and the village heads all agree that the Uchiha didn't have nothing to do with the Nine Tails attack. In fact, the Konoha police force was in action immediately, showed that they were innocent, and so the Uchiha not only keep all their postings and their roles, and they get to still stay within the village like everyone else does, which makes Fugaku happy. And so the Uchiha incident when it comes to the coup d'etat does not go down whatsoever. Well, at this present time anyway. But so yeah, so in that regards, we're going to do a slight narration or a slight look at what happens with Minato being alive. This set in motion a much more grandiose task or much more powerful situation within what's going to happen. And I mean like Obito. Obito was in like a comatose state for a bit. He wakes up and Zetsu realizes that Obito needs to become stronger. He needs, if Minato is alive and everything like that, then he needs to make sure, and this is Black Zetsu by the way, he needs to plan to work. And so he gets the Zetsus to help him nurse him back to health, give him more abilities, more powers, pump him up, make him stronger. And so this Obito has to train and get stronger and stronger. He can't just rely on his Mongekyo, he needs to become more powerful. And he does. He becomes extremely more powerful, and he becomes more isolated. He uses seals to protect himself from Minato's grasp on him, because Minato still has a flying Raijin mark, and if he leaves one of his seals properly, Minato can find him and get him. So from there, we're going to do a massive time skip all the way to Naruto and Sasuke grow up and they enter into the academy. Naruto and Sasuke are close, and yes, they are rivals because Minato and Fugaku, in a sense, demand them both to be rivals, as Fugaku and Minato, in regards to the village, in a sense, are rivals. Fugaku wants, he wouldn't mind becoming the next Hokage, being the first Uchiha and all. At the same time, the Uchiha have deeply, in a sense, have respect for Minato, not third Hokage, not anyone else, just Minato. So Sasuke and Naruto are friends, but they grow up as rivals massively. Sakura, everyone knows who Naruto is. He's the son of the fourth Hokage. Everyone respects Naruto in the sense that they respect Konohamaru. And not only that, no one knows though, thanks to Minato and secrecy, no one knows that Naruto is the Nine-Tails Jinchuriki of the other half of the Nine-Tails. Everyone still believes that Kushina has the full Nine-Tails within her. And this was a secret kept by the village heads and Minato himself. Just for now. So Naruto, in a sense, can live a normal life. And speaking of Naruto, this Naruto is not like Boruto. He's still similar to the Naruto canon counterpart. However, he has different regards. He's, thanks to his mum being there, Naruto has better control of his chakra and understanding upon the Nine-Tails within him. In fact, Naruto has already met the Nine-Tails before starting the academy fully, and going on to becoming a Genin anyway. Naruto himself, learning with his dad, training at a young age as well, made Naruto much more stronger, much more faster, much more wiser. However, he's still Naruto, pretty much like how Jiraiya will always be Jiraiya. In this storyline, Naruto will still kind of be Naruto, just with a family that loves him massively. Naruto still aims to become the Hokage, but the best Hokage ever, and that makes both Kushina and Minato super happy. And Naruto knows of Jiraiya, he grew up with Kakashi and everything like that. He also, like, yeah. And not only that, Sasuke himself, he is different in regards to, like, yeah, he's nothing like how he was. He has both his parents, his brother, his dad, not so aggro no more due to the fact that the Uchiha are free to roam the village, free to be in the village in general, properly doing their role and being respected fully. So in that regard, Fugaku is really happy, and it makes it easier for him to help his son. And so Sasuke aspires to be the head of the police force, just like his dad was. He aspires to be a powerful shinobi, though, like his brother Itachi and Shisui, his big brother Shisui. And not only that, Sasuke learns at a very young age from Fugaku about the Uchiha and the Sharingan. Deep emotions need to awaken the Sharingan, and the penalties of using Sharingan, all the way up to the positives and negative, all the way to 3 tomos. And then the evolution of Mangekyo. In the storyline, Fugaku gives Sasuke a goal. He reveals his Mangekyo Sharingan. And seeing that, like how I'm going to state that Itachi knows about it as well. And seeing that, set a goal for both Fugaku's children to try to meet in a different sense. He tells them what happened in the Great War, and that's it. So prepare, like, this is the next evolution. And so Sasuke is much stronger too, much more wiser, but he's still Sasuke in a sense. Not so broody and evil though. And so yeah, as Naruto and Sasuke enter into the academy, they know each other, they know everyone. They all know Naruto is the son of Hokage. And from there they're pretty much categorized and put into their teams. Naruto, yeah, like he's Minato and Kushina's son, so I'm just gonna state, just like Shikamaru, he's kinda lazy in his studies, okay? But by being a ninja and a shinobi, Naruto is great. He's like one of the best in his class. He's like, yeah, one of the best in his class. Him and Sasuke have this absolute rivalry in that sense. And unbeknownst to Sasuke and Naruto, they're both still placed in Team 7 with a young Kunoichi known as Sakura. I don't know. Naruto and Sasuke both crack up, they're in each other's team, but Sasuke states that I'm going to be the best in this team. And Naruto goes, I'm going to be the best in this team. They both solidify their rivalry. And lo and behold, who is their mentor? Kakashi Hatake. And from there, they are made into Team 7, and they are still resolved and put together the same way. Kakashi asks Naruto, what does he hope to be, being the son of the Hokage and all. Naruto goes, I want to get out of my dad's shadow and become the greatest Hokage this village has ever known. Kakashi smiles and he goes, huh, so you got both your parents' dreams, eh? And Sensei finds it funny, and Naruto goes, yeah. And Sasuke goes, Sensei? He goes, oh yeah, the 4th Hokage was my sensei. Sasuke looks, whoa, you were trained by the 4th Hokage? You're our sensei? Sasuke grips his hand and is like, yes! I got someone strong to teach me, yeah! And bear in mind, Sasuke knows of Kakashi's eye, so does Naruto. So Sasuke in himself understands what he's got to do. when he has to train, he goes, yes, I can prove myself to my dad. Sasuke is so excited. And Kakashi asks Sasuke, and Sasuke goes, I want to be the best police chief in the village. I want to make sure I'm able to protect the village properly and do my family proud and my clan proud. And Naruto goes, that's cool, that's really admirable. Sasuke smiles, of course it is. Naruto's like, eh. And they both laugh at each other. Sakura's like blushing, and Kakashi looks at her, and she just states that she just wants to be a useful shinobi. And she don't mind being in the son of the 4th Hokage and the police chief of Konoha. And Sasuke and Naruto kind of like, huh? But they understand because of their mothers. They understand what Sakura means. She kind of likes them both. And so from here, Kakashi goes, okay, I have a pretty interesting team. He tells them that he will like to see them tomorrow, don't eat breakfast. And from there, we'll meet at the training grounds. Naruto thinks to himself, he knows exactly what this is. And so as Kakashi leaves, thanks to having Minato as his dad, Naruto's a better strategist though. He may be still Naruto Uzumaki, but he's a great strategist. Super duper unpredictable, just like in canon, even worse now. However, Naruto is a great strategist. Now when Kakashi leaves and does his thing, Naruto talks to Sakura and Sasuke. Sakura's kind of shy. And Sasuke goes, what's up, Naruto? What? You want to battle again? Want to challenge again? Naruto goes, please. They pretty much laugh at the idea, but they don't mind because it makes them stronger. Naruto goes, I think I know what's going to be happening. And Sasuke goes, what's that? He goes, well, when I was younger, my dad did this thing called the bell test. We did it always at that same place Kakashi Sensei wants us to meet him. And he goes, the bell test? And he goes, yeah. Now, my dad's idea for the bell test was all about not just getting the bells, because that is a main goal, but they set to a 2 limiter, I guess. I think that's what he said, if I remember what he was saying to Kakashi Sensei. But all I know is the aim is not the bells. I think it's teamwork. And Sasuke looks at Naruto, teamwork? And Sakura's like, teamwork? And he goes, yeah, I think that's what it is. And Sasuke goes, huh, alright. Well then I'm the leader. And Naruto, huh? They instantly debate with each other, no, I'm the leader. But they finally come to the conclusion that they just need to get over themselves and just work together as a team. They put everything on the table. Both Naruto and Sasuke know their abilities. Both Naruto and Sasuke have the knowledge of walking on trees and water. They're not absolute masters, but they can walk on water and on vertical walls and upside down, all that stuff. They can do that. Not to a high degree, but they can do it. Not only that, Sasuke has a high level of when it comes to fireball jutsus, and he's pretty good with shuriken jutsus as well. Naruto himself has done a lot of speed training. Minato has put Naruto through a lot of speed training with weights and not only that, little drills all through Naruto's life. So Naruto in a sense is continuously wearing weights to build his speed up, build his strength up. Naruto in a sense wants to become as fast as his dad, and so Minato kind of gave him a training regimen to make himself fast as well, by like how Rock Lee wears those weights on his legs. Naruto pretty much has similar things on his body to allow for him to train and get faster and faster. And so as they talk and they understand, Sakura just states she has no real skill, she's willing to learn and everything like that, and Naruto and Sasuke look at this as a big problem, a really big problem. And so instead of scolding her or putting her down, both of them agree that they need to eventually over time work together as a team to get her up to scratch at least. For now, we'll try our best to not lead Kakashi towards you, but we'll leave openings for you to try and get the bells from Kakashi. And she's like, alright. And so as they all agree and understand what, in a sense, what they need to do, they immediately go, well, it comes the next day, at least anyway. But before the bell test goes, back at Naruto's home the night before, Kushina asks, oh, so how was your day, Naruto? Naruto goes, oh, it was fine. Kakashi is my sensei now, so that's that. Team 7 was Sasuke and Sakura. And Kushina goes, oh, Sakura, and what's she like? And Naruto's like, yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty cool. But me and Sasuke have a long way when it comes to her. And Kushina looks at Naruto and goes, what do you mean long way, Naruto? And Naruto's like, no, never goes, mom, no. We mean we need to help her get stronger, like us. And she goes, oh, well, that's good, son. And so from there, and not only that, Sasuke also tells his parents that he's in Team 7, so does Sakura. Sakura's parents are joyed to know that Sakura is in Naruto and Sasuke's team, the Uchiha and the Uzumaki, or the Hokage's family anyway, connected to that, so that makes them happy. And Fugaku's like, interesting. You can get strong. You can get strong against your rival while being in the same team. This could motivate you and get you stronger. Sasuke. Who knows? You can possibly become as strong as me. Nah. And Sasuke looks at his dad. And so from here, everything pretty much goes well. And so back to the training ground anyway. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura are ready. They haven't eaten. And Kakashi appears. Minato knows exactly what's going down, so he's kind of happy. And so from this, what ends up going down is Kakashi goes, "Now I know you two have skill. I've heard and I've seen, of course, being in the village, of course. And not only that, me and your brother Itachi are Black Ops Ombre members, so we're all friends in that sense anyway. So I have a fair understanding how you guys go, but let me see it. Let me see how strong you are." And what happens is Naruto's like, "Aren't you gonna explain the rules?" He goes, "What rules?" I was standing there and listening to you tell them everything about the belt test, so I didn't need to give them a recap. But I have one thing though. The only consequences, if you guys fail, you get tied to that post. And one of you get tied to the post and the other two get to eat. But other than that, yeah. And you go back to school and not become a Genin at all, and you have to restart the shinobi, become a shinobi and all that stuff. Naruto was like, what? The Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto all look at each other like their confidence kind of gets shattered a little bit. And they look at each other and they have to take it really seriously. And Kakashi sees in Naruto the serious in his eyes the moment he actually takes it seriously. Naruto goes, "Alright then, taking it seriously, Kakashi sensei. That means that you gotta kind of take this seriously and reveal your Sharingan." And Kakashi kind of laughs at Naruto and goes, "Please." And Sasuke and Naruto look at each other. And Sakura's like, "Sharingan?" And he goes, just stand back, Sakura, and be ready." Naruto immediately removes his weight bands off his legs and drops them. And Kakashi goes, "Oh, rolling at the big guns, Naruto. I heard about that training. I'm looking forward to seeing how fast you are." And Sasuke also pulls his kunai by his face just like how Naruto does. And Sasuke focuses his chakra absolutely as best he can. And when he finally gets it, he opens his eyes. He kind of strains for a bit, but he manages to activate the Sharingan. And when Naruto sees it, he goes, "Whoa, man, when did you activate that?" And he goes, "It was when me and my father trained. He put me through some rigorous training. It was intense. I never went through such pain, like such hard training before." Now it's like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" And they're ready themselves. And as Kakashi goes, "Well then, since you guys are ready, let's begin." And the moment Kakashi says begin, Naruto speedboats to Sasuke. Sasuke runs, but Naruto's already gone. And Kakashi's like, "Huh?" Naruto appears by Kakashi and disappears immediately. And Naruto body flicks behind Kakashi, but Kakashi's able to swipe Naruto. Naruto's able to dodge it. And Kakashi's like impressive in his mind. He can't believe it. Naruto disappears again and appears right by Kakashi and tries to throw a kick on Kakashi's blind spot. And as Kakashi turns around, he blocks Naruto's knee. And simultaneously, Sasuke jumps up and tries to attack Kakashi from behind as well, using Naruto's opening. But Kakashi turns to Naruto, and Sasuke bends over to land the hit. But Kakashi, after turning Naruto, he kicks Sasuke right in the gut, and he jumps away. In doing so, Naruto lands on the ground, and Sasuke gets shuddered. He's in pain and says, "Oh damn! How did I get hit and you did it, Naruto?" Naruto kind of laughs and he goes, "Just keep up." Sasuke smiles and goes, "Interesting training. I think I might start doing that too." And Naruto goes, "You haven't noticed?" And Sasuke goes, "No, I haven't." Like, they kind of blow each other's mind. Sasuke thought Naruto would have noticed about the Sharingan, and Naruto kind of buzzed out that Sasuke would have noticed about the weight belt training, or the weights on the leg training. And as Naruto stands and Kakashi's like claps his hand, he goes, "Impressive. Both of you guys are really good at fighting with each other, eh? Meaning you guys fight against each other so often that you guys know each other's movements. That is great. I like that in the scene. But would that matter really though?" And Sasuke goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Your brother's a prodigy, Sasuke. And from what I'm seeing, I think your brother could have beaten you at his first age of becoming a shinobi when he was that young. Remember that?" Sasuke kind of gets irritated, and out of anger, he rushes, breaks the formation that Naruto and him try to get. After being injured, Sasuke waves hand slams and shoots a massive fireball jutsu. He puts all his kind of rage into that because he kind of hates being compared to Itachi. He knows his brother's more powerful than him, more stronger than he was, a prodigy. And so as Sasuke puts his biggest fireball jutsu, Kakashi appears behind Sasuke and he goes, You obviously didn't see me. Sasuke instantly turns around, and as he's about to do the 1,000 years of death on Sasuke, Naruto immediately appears and catches Sasuke and jumps out of the way. And Kakashi's quite surprised that Naruto went really fast. Bear in mind, Naruto saw this and he understands the humiliation that could possibly cause. So in an instant, Naruto put all his chakra that he had, all his force into taking off, and he broke the ground. And he speed puts Sasuke and catches him and jumps him out of the way. And so Kakashi stands there, he's like, Naruto is really fast. And Sasuke's really hot-headed, I see. Naruto stops Sasuke and takes him into the forest. Sakura's kind of trembling, standing there, and Kakashi sees that. He instantly teleports behind her pretty much to Sakura, and he places her under a genjutsu. Pretty similar to Canon. Naruto stops Sasuke and goes, come on, we need to work together. Stop being stupid. And Sasuke goes, you try being compared. And Naruto punches Sasuke in the shoulder because we both talked about this. We understand what we're compared with. My father's the Hokage. Rah rah. Your dad is the police chief of Konoha, one of the most powerful Uchiha. Your brother's a prodigy. We both know the deal. We both know what we need to do, right? And Sasuke goes, yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry about that, Naruto. So let's get back into it. Yeah, let's go. Naruto immediately appears and makes a shadow clone next to him. Both of them have kunais and they rush Kakashi at max speed. And as fast as Naruto goes, he realizes he can push himself even harder now. And as he begins to fight Kakashi begins to take this actual seriously, because Naruto is moving pretty fast with 2 shadow clones. And Kakashi's quite impressed. And then what happens, this is when Sasuke immediately appears, and he starts to enter into his own taijutsu. Bear in mind, Sasuke is used to fighting Naruto with his shadow clones, and so he's able to do the same thing, being unison, and it's pretty good team dynamic, and Kakashi's really impressed. Really impressed. But unfortunately for them, Kakashi instantly dispels them, beats them both down, flips them both away and throws them into the tree. And Naruto hits the ground. Kakashi immediately appears, and as Kakashi is about to stomp him, Naruto goes, got you, Kakashi sensei. And it's what? Naruto grabs Kakashi's leg and puts a sealing tag on Kakashi, and Kakashi's like, oh no, you, and Kakashi's leg starts to get numb briefly. And Naruto's like, Sasuke, no! Sasuke immediately appears, jumps, and grabs Kakashi's arm. Naruto gets up, but Kakashi manages to kick Naruto in the head, slam him, making him hit the ground. And Kakashi grabs Sasuke's head and also slams him into Naruto's body as well. So both Naruto and Sasuke are hurt piled on the ground. And Kakashi manages to do a lightning style jutsu on his own body to break the seal on his body that's going to hold him in place for a bit. And in doing so, Kakashi's like, and he's tired, and being so tired, Kakashi's like, ow. He goes, you did pretty good. But then he looks at Naruto and Sasuke and he goes, whoops, he kind of went overboard with that. Both Naruto and Sasuke wake up next to the pole. When they wake up next to the pole, they look down at themselves and they think they're tied up, but nope, they're not tied up. But they look up and they see Sakura tied up. And she goes, hey guys, sorry I failed yous. And Sasuke and Naruto goes, what happened? And Kakashi lands on top and goes, all 3 of you failed. Obviously you guys didn't manage to get the bells. I must say though, you and Sasuke's teamwork though, off the chain, Naruto. You guys are really good. I can't believe how good you guys are as a team in general. But you being a nitwit, Naruto. And Naruto's like, hey. When he looks at him and goes, but yeah, you guys failed because you still had a 3rd team member. Yeah, you understood the principle of it, Naruto, but did you guys actually follow it? You left Sakura behind regardless. She could have been you, she could have just thrown a kunai, you could have done something, but you didn't, right? And Naruto's like, yeah, I didn't. And he goes, word for the wise for next time, eh, Naruto? And Kakashi leaves, and as they look down, but he goes, you guys can eat your food though, but not Sakura, okay? And Sakura's like sitting there looking down, being real hungry, and both Naruto and Sasuke begin to eat their food. And as they begin to eat their food, both of them feel sorry for her and they give her food. And as he gives her food, he instantly goes, you guys know the rules, right? He goes, yeah, but we already failed, right? And Kakashi smiles and it kind of hits him in the head. He realizes, oh yeah, I put my foot in my mouth. I realized I gave them the consequence already. Oh well, they still did it anyway. You guys pass. And Sasuke and Naruto's like, what? What do you mean we pass? And he goes, you guys pass. Despite you guys doing absolutely great teamwork, you should have included Sakura, but hey, regardless of the fact, you guys pretty much did the best thing that you did, and you gave food to your friend, breaking the rules even though I kind of mucked things up. And Sasuke goes, is this like some form of reverse psychology where you make us confused or something like that? And Naruto goes, yeah, I remember my mum talking about that once. And they both look at each other, and Kakashi's like, oh my gosh, you guys pass, you guys are part of Team 7, okay, alright? I'm proud of you guys. Naruto's like, cool. They all high-five each other, but Kakashi makes it very clear that you guys need to work with Sakura. At the same time, Sakura needs to push herself as well. And so from here, Team 7 is established. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura go back home. They're all happy. Sakura's kind of has a bruised spirit in a sense, but Naruto and Sasuke will make sure over the next few months of their D rank missions to include her, make her more confident in her skills, even to the point where Naruto and Sasuke master wall and water walking. At the same time, Sasuke pretty much masters fireball jutsu and shuriken jutsu to a higher degree. In fact, Sasuke becomes ridiculous at shuriken jutsu, almost rivaling his brother in a sense. And Naruto himself, he continues to add weights to his weight belt itself, or his leg weights, to allow for him to get greater speed and get stronger. And Naruto practices every day. And not only that, Naruto knows that making a shadow clone and training with that increases his own strength and capacity. And so Naruto gets really strong training with himself as well. So over the next few months, I guess, of D-rank missions, let's do a ability count, I guess. Sakura is able to walk up trees and understand how to stand on water properly. So she got that fair idea of doing that. And not only that, she's gradually increasing her taijutsu and her confidence, you know. Sasuke himself has increased more in his taijutsu and his shuriken jutsu, and not only that, he's able to activate his Sharingan much more quicker. And Naruto himself, his speed has increased dramatically, and not only that, he's becoming more better with his clone and fighting jutsus. Naruto's beginning to progress much faster than he does in canon. So when Team 7 gets assigned the Tazuna Bridge assignment, Naruto and them are all happy, you know. They don't mind getting out of the village and doing a new duty, regardless of it's just a protection detail. It's something, you know. And so as Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura leave the village, Kushina and Minato are instantly standing at the front gate, doting over her sons. Sakura goes, she kind of laughs, and Naruto and them go, you don't know what it's like. And she goes, oh, I do. My mum doted over me this whole morning, okay? So don't worry, I understand. And Sasuke and Naruto look at each other, and both of them pretty much, Kushina and Minato tell both Sasuke and Naruto, listen to Kakashi. It kind of scares them, him seeing their mothers do that. Absolutely. They're like, oh, alright. And so as Minato and Kushina say goodbye, everyone of that, Team 7 head out immediately with Tazuna. Bear in mind, Tazuna is quite grateful and quite safe knowing that he's on an Uchiha and the Hokage Sun's team. Bear in mind though, Naruto and Sasuke are much more confident, and Sakura herself is building herself up to become more confident too, reflecting on her teammates. And as they go, they all talk to each other, talk about strategies, talk about things, you know, back in the village, and how they could practice to get better. And then as they're walking towards the puddle, Naruto goes, I suggest you both should learn Shadow Clone Jutsu. Kakashi's listening to this, and what happens is Kakashi goes, why are you suggesting to them they should do Shadow Clone Jutsu? And Naruto goes, it will decrease their progress more if they train with a Shadow Clone by themselves, you know. I do it all the time, and I'm getting stronger and faster. Sasuke looks at Naruto. He's like, Shadow Clone? So yeah, well we all can do Shadow Clones, right? And he goes, well yeah. He goes, well train with the Shadow Clone. He goes, it takes a lot of concentration to keep the Shadow Clone activated, Naruto. And Naruto goes, oh yeah, I get it. And he goes, not all of us has much chakra as you, Naruto. And Naruto, I know. Trust me, I know. You know what it's like to be the Hokage son, the expectation. But who cares? I'm gonna make sure I'm better. And so Kakashi's like, alright, that's pretty interesting. He's quite interested in how Naruto saw that thing. Sakura hearing that, she's confident now. She knows what she needs to do to become stronger, to prove to herself she's not useless to the storyline in general. And so, because Sakura, everyone can do Shadow Clones, or this training method will become super effective very soon. But as they walk past the puddles, both Sasuke and Naruto notice the demon brothers appear, and as they appear, they don't even come close to Kakashi at all. Instead, both Naruto and Sasuke stop them both from moving immediately. Naruto being as fast as Sasuke because he's got the weights on, and Sasuke believing he's actually catching up to Naruto, not noticing that Naruto's got actual increased weights on. And so as both Sasuke and Naruto neutralize both the brothers, they do it in a more non-lethal way. They beat them down really fast, take them down really, really fast. And then they hold them for questioning. Kakashi's quite impressed. Tazuna is too, but that's what he come to expect, being the sons of the Hokage and the Uchiha leader, of course, you know. And so, lo and behold, they find out the same situation they do in canon, but not needing the second to guess themselves. Sasuke, Sakura, and Naruto all come to the agreement that they should continue on with the mission. Kakashi also agrees, but he'd like to send a message back to the fourth Hokage. So Kakashi summons his dog, Paku, and he gives a message to him saying what has occurred and what's about to possibly occur. And from there they head out. Kakashi himself, though, he scares the two demon brothers with a Sharingan in regards to changing themselves, you know. And Naruto's own talk no jutsu changes them as well. So this will be a topic in the future. They go back to their village, of course, the demon brothers. And from there, Naruto, the Team 7 move forward all the way to Tazuna's area anyway. But as they're moving through the forest, this is when Zabuza appears, alright? And this is when the storyline is going to take into the part where Zabuza attacks Kakashi. Bear in mind, this Kakashi is not out in a sense, he has people that he loves that are alive in a sense. Unlike like before, he didn't have Minato and Kushina, he does have Minato and Kushina. This Kakashi is much more different in knowing that he had a kind of brotherly role to Naruto his life as well. So this is more a determined and strong Kakashi in canon. And as Kakashi is squaring off against Zabuza, because all of this is going to go similar, just more ready, active Naruto and Sasuke. But they know their jobs, they stand around Tazuna. Naruto does a shadow clone and makes it back to back. Bear in mind, Naruto can do hundreds of shadow clones. He just knows that 2 shadow clones, well, shadow clone himself will be strong enough, you know, full power. As Sasuke himself goes back to back with them, and Sakura stays on the other side. When Tazuna ceases, he in a sense feels kind of safe. And as the mist goes up, Naruto and them begin. Naruto, he tries his best because he knows his jutsu is wind style, his affinity. Naruto does what's it called? He does a weak version of a wind style breakthrough jutsu, and Naruto claps his hands together. And doing so, Naruto pushes as much mist as he can away to allow for openings. And this is when Naruto will notice that Zabuza already appeared in between them and tries to axe him again. But Kakashi appears and kicks Zabuza, pushes him away and catches his blade. Zabuza kind of impressed how powerful Kakashi is. From there, Kakashi becomes serious, removes his headband and looks at him with the Sharingan. From there, he takes it absolutely serious. And this time though, this Kakashi doesn't get caught in Zabuza's trap at all. Not at all, in fact. In fact, this Kakashi is pushing Zabuza much more harder. So there's none of that Naruto and Sasuke Shuriken jutsu, but however, there's a much more greater fight with Zabuza and Kakashi. When Zabuza realizes that Kakashi's not a fool, he tries his best to push Kakashi. Push him to the point where he can at least get a hit on Kakashi. But no, it doesn't work. Instead, Kakashi continues to back Zabuza up against trees, walls, everything, to the point where Zabuza actually throws the sword down and he begins to do jutsu, water prison jutsu and all that, tries to get Kakashi, but it doesn't work. Kakashi's smart. When he gets caught in a water prison, he substitutes immediately. And from there, not only that, Kakashi also is able to copy all of Zabuza's water jutsu, from the water surge, whatever, and the dragon jutsu, all that. Kakashi's still able to do that, but flawlessly, much more easier. Beats Zabuza dramatically. Zabuza begins to panic because he's overwhelmed by both attacks. And when he goes for the sword, Kakashi stands on Zabuza's hand, throws a kunai through Zabuza's hand, picks up the executioner blade, and as Zabuza swings to go cut Zabuza's head off, when Kakashi grabs the executioner blade and swings to cuts Zabuza's head off, Haku chucks some bombs through Zabuza's neck, and Kakashi looks at him. Haku goes, "I'll take it from here." He lands. Kakashi is seeing and respecting that Haku is had a missed Ombu member. Kakashi puts down the executioner blade and walks away, believing that Zabuza has been killed and he will respect that the mist will take back the rogue shinobi. He puts the sword down, looking at the sword, knowing that the sword's pretty fat and he'll be pretty good and he'll like it. From there, Zabuza leaves. Kakashi's not as tired as he is in canon because he didn't get caught up in the water prison. Kakashi closes his eyes. He's puffing a bit, but he says he's alright. And so they all walk back to Tazuna's place. There they meet Tazuna's the little boy. They meet there, and Naruto builds a bond with him, and they become close. It's pretty similar to canon, even though Naruto don't relate to him. Naruto feels for him and listens to him and understands him, and sees that he's just not a little brat, you know. And Naruto, with his own talk no jutsus, talks him into becoming different, like how he does in canon. But with Naruto and them, Team 7 have Kakashi to train with them, and Kakashi likes Naruto's idea of shadow clone training. And so he tells Team 7 to show me water walking, tree walking, all that regards, and they do it. Sakura now, over the months of training with Sasuke and Naruto, and being there, she's able to walk up trees, and over the next day or so, she's able to perfect walking up trees 100% and walking on water, which makes Kakashi proud. And not only that, at the end of the day, Kakashi asks Sakura if she can do a shadow clone, to what she can, and Kakashi goes, how long can you sustain it for? And she says like barely 2 minutes, barely a minute. She gets, and Kakashi goes, now it's your job to train and make sure maintain your chakra control and make sure your shadow clone can last longer. And then he goes on to ask Sasuke, can you do shadow clones? He goes, yeah, how much can you do? He goes, I can do 2 for now. And Kakashi's quite impressed. Interesting. And he goes, how long you can make those last for? And he goes, I don't know, like 5 minutes, I guess. 5 minutes with 1, and with 2, it's way less, like a minute, pretty same as Sakura. And he goes, alright, well, same for you, do the same training, continue the normal training that you're doing, but push yourself more with the shadow clones as well. Naruto's right. And Naruto, how much shadow clones can you make? Naruto goes, well, the most I've made was 180. And Kakashi's like, he looks at Naruto, all of them look good, like, what? But Naruto goes, yeah. But I learned from Dad that having 1 shadow clone and training with that, yes, it takes longer, but it's a stronger opponent, stronger person to get fight against, and like that, more the rewards in a sense. Even though I have ace up my sleeve when it comes to it anyway, a perfect jutsu that Dad and Mom don't know about. I'm saving it. And Kakashi's like, alright. But he's impressed, and he understands that Naruto has massive chakra being Uzumaki. But no one knows that Naruto has half of the Nine-Tails chakra within his body. No one knows, only the village high ups. And so, as Team 7 train, they all get gradually stronger. And Naruto himself is told by Kakashi to try and make 200 shadow clones, which Naruto easily does, and tells Naruto to train with all those shadow clones. And so Naruto, bearing in mind, understanding what he needs to do, he trains non-stop. Naruto knowing all the jutsus his parents taught him, Naruto just increases his taijutsu battles, and not only that, his reactions and his speed. Minato gave Naruto reaction trainings, and so having 200 clones, Naruto trains non-stop, until Kakashi is fully ready, the bridge is fully done, and everyone's ready to go to the bridge, protect Kazuma. And so as this goes down, on that fated day, Naruto is completely exhausted training with the shadow clones. He hits the ground, he completely collapses and falls asleep. This is when he meets Haku. And from there, Naruto learns the same principles as he does from Haku as in canon. Naruto knows what's necessary, but he understands the goal and something to focus on. And so, as Naruto wakes up, he heads to the bridge over time, and he sees that Kakashi is fighting Zabuza. This time, Zabuza is not taking Kakashi lightly. And not only that, Sasuke is fighting the Yonbo member, the one that had the mask that took Zabuza. As Naruto's appear, he still has his weights on, and they're still on him, and he has no time. He needs to pick his fight, so he rushes to Sasuke and jumps into the fight. And as he gets into the ice prison with Sasuke, Naruto looks at him and is like, Sasuke, you alright? And as Haku throws Sin Bonds at them, Naruto easily dodges it. Sasuke has Sharingan activated, he gets stabbed 3 times in the shoulder and on the leg, and he's like, Naruto! And he goes, watch out! And Naruto's like, I see. Naruto, he sees it and he reacts again, but due to the fact that he's wearing the weights, he's pretty much as fast as Sasuke in regards, and so he gets stabbed multiple times on his body as well. And while Naruto's there, Naruto's trying his best to protect Sasuke, as Sasuke's trying to do the same with Naruto. Sasuke has a Sharingan, Naruto having his speed, his increased abilities. But that's all for nothing. Haku's faster at this present time, and better. Bear in mind, Naruto still has his weights on, okay? But as Naruto is beginning to get really hurt, Sasuke notices that he gets hurt as well. But Sasuke realizes that Naruto did more to protect him than he did, and is kind of irritated, but at the same time he doesn't want to lose his friends. And as Haku jumps around and manages to rally and shoot hundreds of more Sinbods at them, Sasuke jumps in the way. And when Naruto sees Sasuke jumping away, Naruto tries to stop him, but Sasuke gets pinned by all of them. And Sasuke looks at Naruto, and Naruto goes, why did you do that, you idiot? And he goes, you're my friend, you idiots. And you're already doing that for me. Sasuke looks at him, and as Naruto goes, Sasuke! And as he goes down by Sasuke, Haku throws Sinbons at Naruto's back immediately, preparing to throw him way more. And as Naruto thrives in pain, he looks down at Sasuke, and all he sees is Sasuke's body like near lifeless. And unfortunately for Haku, the worst thing happens for him. Naruto's first interactions with his Nine Tails in this regard: anger, rage, hatred. Naruto explodes. Nine Tails chakra erupts in his body, and in doing so, red chakra appears all around him. The symbiotes fly out of Naruto. Naruto uses the Nine Tails chakra and the limited idea that he got from his mother, in a sense of chakra and chakra fusion to others. Naruto was able to slightly, while with his brief conscious with his Nine Tails, he was able to put tiny bit of chakra in Sasuke to push as much fatal symbionts out of him to heal a little bit. And what happens is Naruto, in a sense, goes mad. He explodes immediately, destroying the entire ice prison, sending Haku flying. And the moment Naruto does that, Naruto destroys it. Kushina back in Konoha feels it immediately. The Nine Tails goes, "Kushina, don't you feel that?" And when Kushina's like, "Huh?" Looks back in her mental mindscape and he goes, "The brat, he's losing control. I can feel it." And Kushina's like, "Yeah, I can too." And he goes, "So what are you gonna do about it?" Kushina looks around, and because where she's at, she's pretty far from where the Hokage's office, so she rushes over, feeling the pain. It slows her down, slowing her down more due to the pain of what's happening. The Nine Tails doesn't mean to, because Kushina's linked with the other Nine Tails as well. Like Naruto's, their chakra are linked in a sense. And so as Kushina finally gets to Minato's office, she tells Minato something's up with Naruto and the Nine Tails. And when Kushina says this, Danzo so happens to be there. As he goes, "I thought you guys locked the Nine Tails away properly within Naruto. Said that this will never happen." Looks right at Minato. Minato looks right at Danzo. And Minato says nothing, but Danzo stands up and goes, "Lord Hokage." Looks right at Kushina, walks away, and Kushina looks at Minato and she apologizes. But Minato don't care. He walks away by Kushina and goes, "What's the matter?" She tells him everything. Me and the Nine Tails both feel something's up with Naruto and the other Nine Tails. And so what happens is, when Minato, he feels this, he knows that because he already gave Naruto a kunai to protect him, because that's his son, of course. Minato teleports to the kunai where Naruto is immediately, as the Hokage. And when he gets there, he looks around and he sees, a lot of dead bodies. He sees Zabuza brutally murdered. Haku completely destroys his upper body, destroys Zabuza, split in two as well. He sees all the men on the bridge completely annihilated. And he sees Kakashi trying to stop Naruto. And as Naruto is squaring off against the Kakashi and Team 7, the remainder of Team 7, Sakura and Kakashi, and the village themselves, because they're actually really scared of Naruto, Minato immediately appears by Naruto and places a seal on Naruto's head, and Naruto completely collapses. As Naruto collapses, Kakashi looks right at Minato. Minato looks at Kakashi and he goes, he looks at all the devastation. The bridge is not destroyed, however, it's pretty bloody in the sense of regard of how bad Naruto lost control. Bear in mind, the Nine Tails that's within Naruto absolutely resents him in regards of, if he has a chance, he's going to let loose absolutely to get free, He was almost close to that before, and Naruto's weaker than Kushina in the sense of chakra. So this Nine Tails has more of an eager approach to want to leave this body compared to the other Nine Tails, because Kushina is like an Iron Maiden in a sense when it comes to the Nine Tails. And so as Naruto hits the ground, Minato looks at him and he thanks Kakashi and Team 7, and he tells them they're very proud of them for actually completing their job. Minato takes Team 7 back after they complete their mission. Of course, Naruto still stays in the bed, and Minato states he's got to leave, but when Naruto wakes up and the mission's over, drop his kunai on the ground and I'll come and get you guys. Kakashi looks at Minato, not out of the sense that Minato don't trust him. Minato's worried about Naruto. And so, what ends up going down is after the Tazuna Bridge is done, they still call it the Great Naruto Bridge in regards to the fact that he pretty much took out all of Gato and his men, and Haku and Zabuza single-handedly. Kind of scared them, of course, but hey, this kid had some power they didn't recognize. Kakashi recognized it in a sense. He knows what in regards to what exactly it is. And so when they get back to Konoha, Kakashi talks to Minato and he explains that Naruto has the other half of the Nine Tails. Kakashi is shocked, but he understands the secrecy. And so from there, Kakashi is brought up to speed on how to kind of seal Naruto before he gets to like 4 tails in a sense, or 3 tails, and that's the same seal Jiraiya gives Ken and Kakashi, but Kakashi is able to weave the hand signs to do it too. so just in case. And so Danzo's biding his time with all this information he has now. So he's going to be affected as well. And so as Naruto is back in the village, Sasuke and Sakura are kind of scared on approaching Naruto in regards to that he may lose control like that again. And Naruto explains that he won't, he just didn't know what came over him. Sasuke goes, the last thing I saw was your eyes turn into like some red eyes, like a weird Sharingan. And then this chakra exploded over you, and from there, nothing else. And then when I woke up, the entire bridge was riddled with destroyed bodies. And Sakura was like, yeah, Naruto lost control. He just destroyed everyone so fast that not even Kakashi Sensei saw it. And Naruto looks at him, so he realizes the power that he has within him is even more dangerous now because he's becoming really strong. And the weights that he has on his body, that way he originally had on his body, will be really light to him now because he's just pushed himself to a different extreme. And so what happens is, after Naruto's been monitored, he's seen by his family, his parents and all that, everything goes kind of different. Naruto and them still get into the chunin exams, but this is when Kushina starts to talk to Naruto and help him. Kushina tells Naruto to fist bump him, and Naruto does so, and they both link their chakras. And then inside the psyche plane, Naruto speaks to Kushina. She begins to teach Naruto how to become stronger than the Nine Tails, not to allow for his influence to overcome yours. And if you're going to get his chakra, that you are the one that control it, not the Nine Tails itself. The Nine Tails looks at Kushina and goes, damn this goat! And looks at the other Nine Tails behind Kushina. He's not behind the gate at all. Kushina already pretty much dominated him like Minato did, in a sense. And he goes, you'll learn soon. To the other Nine Tails, angry traitor, kind of irritated at his other half. But what happens is Kushina begins to help Naruto train with their Nine Tails abilities. And not only that, Minato sets a task for Naruto. If he's able to learn the abilities that his mum's trying to teach him, and not only that, pass the finals all the way to past the chunin exams all the way to the finals, Minato will teach him a jutsu that will be worth his speed and skill. Naruto excited because he knows what it is. He's like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, the flying Raijin is in his brain, the flying Raijin in his brain. And so Naruto agrees, and so when it comes to the chunin exams, everything goes relative. They easily overcome the genjutsu with nothing. And the text itself is the dumb thing. But when Rock Lee and Sasuke meet, Rock Lee is less impressed with the Sasuke because he's not the only Uchiha. However, he's looking forward to fight the son of the leader of the Uchiha. See what he has to offer, and not only that, he wouldn't mind fighting the Hokage's son. Rock Lee heard that Naruto's fast, so he would like to challenge that. And so Naruto and Sasuke both accept his offer, and he still weirds out Sakura, of course. And so, in a sense, Team 7 makes it slightly personal. Sasuke goes up against Rock Lee, and just like in canon, but not in a massive way, but Sasuke still gets beat by Rock Lee's his barrage in a way. And then Naruto enters the fray. Rock Lee goes, if you're anything like him, you have no way of beating me. Naruto smiles, but when Naruto looks down, he notices the weights on Rock Lee's leg, and he realizes that Rock Lee is also holding back. And because Naruto transformed into Nine Tails state, his body's gotten stronger with the weights, so it's really light on his body. And so the moment the battle begins, Naruto and Rock Lee disappear. Rock Lee noticed also the weights on Naruto's legs, and as they're fighting, exchanging blows, taijutsu battles, reacting to each other's blows backwards and forth, Rock Lee goes to Naruto, he goes, I see you're wearing weight belts on your leg. Any particular reason why? And this is why they're fighting, and Naruto goes, training to get strong, be fast like my father. What about you? And Rock Lee goes, training to overcome my weakness. And Naruto instantly deduces that Rock Lee can't use ninjutsu. Naruto instantly creates a gap and does a breakthrough jutsu. Creates a gap, and Rock Lee goes, hey, you cheated, you can't. And Naruto goes, no, wait, you can't use jutsu, can you? And Rock Lee goes, yeah, so what? And he goes, incredible. And you're this powerful? I can't believe it. And Rock Lee's like, whoa, what? And he goes, Naruto walks over and goes, I would like to continue this fight more often, but I think this is not allowed right now. But hey, you're really, really something else there. I'm looking forward to training, getting strong, and fighting against you. What's your name again? And Rock Lee's kind of taken aback by the Hokage's son. They were in the middle of a fight, and he was able to break them both away. And he's like, oh, my name is Rock Lee. And Naruto shakes his hand and goes, nice to meet you, Rock Lee. I'm Naruto Uzumaki, and I'm keen to take you on as a new rival as well. Rock Lee smiles, I understand that Naruto has the same goal to become even greater and stronger. Rock Lee's happy as they shake each other's hand. They go off. Guy watched it all, and he saw like he couldn't believe how great it was. Sasuke's kind of irritated and he wants to get revenge, but hey, he understands. Not only that, Sasuke kind of buzzes out that Naruto's speed and taijutsu skills are off the charts, and it kind of leaves like a little bit of a jealousy in his mind, a little tiny bit of a jealousy in his mind anyway. And so as Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura move forward onto the Forest of Death anyway, the entire Team 7 and all the other gettings there are getting ready to participate in the Forest of Death lineup. Naruto's the only one who noticed something in the back of his eye. As he's standing up and looking back, he notices someone behind him. Someone with the long hair and wearing a weird hat. As Naruto looks at him, he goes, "Why do they have sale signs still on those hats?" It's kind of odd for Naruto. Bear in mind, this Naruto is more like a strategist. Still a dummy in his own right, but he's slightly a strategist as well. As Naruto looking at him, he's kind of thinking to himself, But as Naruto looks back, he stands there, keeps in mind to watch that fella. It gives Naruto an eerie feeling. And that fella, as we all know, happens to be Orochimaru. And as Orochimaru looks on, he says, I thought I was being noticed. Nuts. He looks right at Sasuke and goes, "I'm gonna get that body." And then as Orochimaru looks on, Naruto's just standing there and they're talking. They're trying to think of a strategy. Bear in mind, this Team 7 is much stronger now. They've trained, they've got greatly stronger. Sakura and Sasuke can use more shadow clones and train. They've increased in power to the point where Sakura can train and fight with 2 shadow clones and train with 2 shadow clones, whose strength, whose speed, whose stamina, everything has increased dramatically. Sasuke himself can do multiple fireball jutsus at one time with all 3 of his shadow clones and himself, so there'd be 4 fireball jutsus. Not only that, he learnt Rock Lee's abilities, just rush and become mimic the fighting style, so he's going to utilize that for himself. Naruto himself has increased the weights in his leggings, and not only that, he is refining his skills more and more. He wants to make sure he's ready for the Rasengan. He's ready for the Flying Raijin training. And as Team 7 rushes into the Forest of Death, this is where we're going to leave this what if, guys. I hope you guys like this what if. Please like, subscribe, and leave comments down below. But as you guys know, I hope you guys like this new what if, and I'll be bringing out all the old ones that I did the week prior this week, okay? Yeah, thank you guys all for your support, and as usual, guys, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.